This is the 28storms.com and Hurricane Tracker app tropical weather update for Friday, September 9th. Today we still have Hurricane Claudia to the south of the Canadian Maritimes, but this is going to recurve more toward the northeast before slamming into Canada. And of course down south we still have Tropical Storm Maria, where we have tropical storm warnings up for much of the Leeward Islands, Virgin Islands, extending westward all the way into Puerto Rico. And we have hurricane watches out ahead of Tropical Storm Nate from Veracruz, Mexico, northward through Tampico. Last night we declared on our Facebook 28 Storms page that it was pretty much a done deal that Tropical Storm Nate would take a more westerly track into Mexico versus directly impacting the southern United States, and it pretty much still looks that way. We still have a fairly good model consensus now taking this more in a westerly direction. And the models appear to be on target because if we look at the latest 500 millibar analysis from late this morning, we see that we still have the trough over the central Gulf Coast trying to continue to retrograde a little bit more toward the southwest, and we have seen some height falls around here, but we still have 588 to 589 decameter ridging at 500 millibars across much of northeast Mexico and southern Texas, which is a strong indication that we still have a lot of ridging in that area, and that ridging promotes more of a westerly track. And in fact, all the models have this ridging over northern Mexico continuing to expand back toward the east as this trough over Louisiana begins to lift out. Now, in terms of the intensity forecast, there are still several models that take this to a Category 1 or Category 2 hurricane right before landfall. And on the latest visible imagery, it does look like the storm has become better defined with that surface circulation embedded directly in the middle of the cloud canopy, so it does appear that the wind shear values have decreased. But the wind shear isn't so much of a problem as the dry air. If we turn on the latest infrared, we see that convection is severely lacking, and that is the main reason why the maximum sustained winds have actually decreased from 65 miles per hour to 50 miles per hour. Now, based on the overall structure of the storm, we're still going to have to monitor as to whether or not convection decides to refire near the center. If it does successfully do that, then we could see another round of steady intensification into a minimal hurricane. But what gives me a little bit added hope is that the dry air does not appear to be abating in the northwest quadrant, so dry air may continue to be a problem throughout Nate's lifespan or duration. And also that's fairly good news in terms of the threat for heavy rainfall as this system begins to make landfall. Usually once these storms move inland over very dry air and dry conditions in the atmosphere, usually the convection and rainfall dissipates fairly quickly. So this may actually not be so much of a significant problem for Mexico as long as this dry air remains in place, and there are once again no signs that the dry air is beginning to diminish. Now, with all that being said, we still have hurricane watches from Veracruz to Tampico, and that is the official forecast from the Hurricane Center that this will strengthen into a hurricane. So it's still always good to prepare for the worst, and we are still advising people to prepare for minimal hurricane conditions in the event that this storm does intensify a little bit more than expected. Elsewhere in the tropics, as of the 2 p.m. advisory from the Hurricane Center, Tropical Storm Maria is still hanging on with maximum sustained winds of 45 miles per hour. It is still moving off toward the west-northwest at 14 miles per hour, so it has slowed down a little bit. And the latest forecast is still taking this directly over the northeast Caribbean, so tropical storm warnings are in effect. And there is growing confidence that this center will remain to the north of Hispaniola, which leads me to believe that we could be dealing with a stronger system out here in the southwest Atlantic, and now that is being confirmed by the Hurricane Center. They are forecasting Maria to become the next hurricane as we go into Tuesday and Wednesday. But notice how they are also taking this a little bit more toward the north, and although interests in the Bahamas are still advised to keep a very close watch on this system, as any shift more toward the west would place you directly in the track or the cone, it looks as though it may be a little bit more likely that this will begin to recurve more toward the north. On this afternoon's satellite imagery, it looks as though Tropical Storm Maria is a lot more intense than it really is, and that's because a lot of this convection, which has become a lot more expansive over the last 24 hours, is not being enhanced by fully tropical aspects. We still have this baroclinic upper level low located to the northeast of Puerto Rico. You can see this a little bit better on the water vapor. This is not a purely tropical system, or at least this upper level low is not, and that's acting to enhance the convection. by causing a lot of upper air divergence. And that bodes well for the convection, but not so much for the overall organization of the storm. And if we turn on the latest visible animation and compare that to some of the things that we are seeing in the reconnaissance data, it looks as though we still have a couple different circulations swirling about a broad low pressure area. And so we could see some more relocations to the north, and if anything, that would promote a track a little bit more toward the north of San Juan, Puerto Rico. However, you're still going to get a lot of gusty winds and heavy rainfall, as even the southwest quadrant is packing those types of weather conditions. So the good news is that despite the convection on the increase, it looks rather unlikely that Maria will be able to intensify into a hurricane before impacting the Northeast Caribbean. Now, it could become a little bit stronger. We're talking about a moderate to strong tropical storm as the center begins to pass near San Juan, but it looks like it's going to hold off in terms of becoming a hurricane until it reaches the southwest Atlantic. Now, once again, we still can't rule out a direct hit over the southeast Bahamas, but the model consensus is still more toward the right, and this is fairly good news for the U.S. East Coast. It looks like a direct hit here is fairly unlikely, and we will explain why in just a moment. But also, interests in Bermuda are advised to keep a close watch on the system, as there is always that chance that this storm takes a more rightward track in the 5 to 6 day range. We are now looking at the 500 millibar steering forecast from the GFS model, and notice over the eastern United States, much of the weather is still being dominated by this cutoff upper level low and the associated remnants of Tropical Storm Lee. And this is the current location of Tropical Storm Maria, and notice that as this moves more off toward the northwest, this upper level cutoff low that has been nearly stationary for several days is going to start sliding off toward the east, and it's doing so in just enough time to guarantee that Tropical Storm Maria is going to safely recurve well away from the U.S. East Coast, but if it recurves too fast, then that could pose problems for Bermuda. The latest 12Z Canadian CMC is showing the same general pattern, with that upper level trough beginning to swing out to sea and therefore picking up the storm, and it's a little bit more toward the west than the GFS is indicating, which would guarantee a safe passage directly between Bermuda and the Outer Banks of North Carolina. This is now the 12Z ECMWF European model run. This is the position of Tropical Storm Maria. This is the cutoff upper level low over the southeast United States. And as we go into day 1, 2, and day 3, notice that the trough is beginning to open once again, which is a sign that this trough is about to start lifting more toward the northeast. And that's in just enough time as our tropical cyclone is moving into the southwest Atlantic. So by day 4, we're beginning to see more of a turn toward the north, and by day 5, it's becoming rather obvious. And not only do we have that trough beginning to lift out, but some of the models are also showing the prospect of a long wave trough exiting from southeast Canada. So by day 6, the storm is obviously taking a turn away from the U.S. East Coast, and it's just to the west of Bermuda. Also notice that in all of these models, we really don't see much in the way of tropical action after these storms begin to clear out. The Gulf, Caribbean, and Atlantic are void of any tropical cyclones on this model run. But as we go into days 7 through 9, notice that we are going to have ridging over much of the east coast United States, and usually in that type of pattern, we'll have to start monitoring the central and western Caribbean. So the models really aren't developing anything down there right now, but that could be the next area to watch over the next 5 to 10 days. Looking closer to the coast of Africa, we really don't see anything all that impressive on satellite imagery this afternoon. We do see signs of a tropical wave out here, though, in the central Atlantic, and this feature will more than likely be in the central and western Caribbean during that 5 to 10 day range. So although that system is fairly void of any convection at the moment, it could be something to watch as we go into the medium and extended forecast period. So that wraps up your tropical weather update for this Friday. Please check back again sometime tomorrow for another extensive video.